welcome to this Excel tutorial on how to create data visualizations in Excel. In our previous videos, we've seen how to work with data. And now let's take a look at how to represent your data in the form of diagrams or charts. There are different types of charts in Excel, such as column charts, bar charts, pie charts, XY scatter charts, and Sparklines charts. Now let's look at them all one by one. First, let's see how to create a column chart. And let me take some sample data here for creating data visualization in the form of a column chart. So I have annual sales of a company here, and there are items that the company has sold, and there are 3 categories, namely in-store sales, online sales, and mail order sales. Now this is in a normal table format, but we want to create a column chart for it. So for doing that, just select your data, and I have it selected here. And then there's a very easy and very useful shortcut to create a chart automatically by pressing Alt and F1. So the moment you press Alt F1 after selecting your data, the most suitable chart is created here automatically. Now I've selected the range. Let me click Alt and F1, Alt F1, there you go. So without you even going and selecting a chart, Excel has recommended the best chart for your data. And this is the shortcut. Now I'll show you the other method. Again, select the data range, and you have to select the header too. Then go to the Insert tab, click Insert, and then you will have this pane titled Charts. This is the entire area where you have your chart categories. So now I want to show you how to create a column chart, which is a basic kind of chart. So go to the option here, and this is the column charts pane. And you'll have different types or categories of column charts, such as 2D, 3D, 2D bar charts. Let's see the column ones first. If you want to see how the visualization is going to look, then just hover your cursor over it. This is the normal 2D chart. This is the stacked one. Now let me show the normal 2D one. Click on it. This was the chart which we had got when we had used the shortcut Alt plus F1. So you can drag the chart and place it wherever you want. So just click and drag it. Okay, so now you can see the data. The item list is displayed here. And this is the sales profits. And you have 3 categories, one for in-store sales, one for online sales, one for mail order sales. So you can see, for example, take the category clothing. In clothing, you have the highest in-store sales. So this type of chart will easily help you understand your data. So let me explain to you what are the features of these charts. This is the chart area. This is the chart title. And you can give it a title. Just click on the chart title. And you can type a new name. Let me give it the title Annual Sales. And then the data columns are listed here. But then you don't know what are the exact revenue or the sales. So you have a plus option here. As you can see, these are the chart elements. If you want to add or remove a chart element, then you can click here. And we want data labels. So you see the data label option in the chart elements here. So you check it and get back. So now you can see that data labels are listed here. We can see that there's an overlap of data labels. We can also manually drag it to whichever position you want it to be in. Let me show you the options here. This line is the horizontal axis line, which has the list of items. And towards your left is the vertical axis, or value axis, where it has taken this data from. And this is called the series. All your data is referred to as series. And these are the data labels. These lines here are called the vertical or value axis grid lines. There are other options in your chart elements as well, like axis titles. Just hover over it, and you'll see what extra element is added to your chart. So if you hover over it, it adds axis titles. If you want these titles, select it, and then you can edit the title, renaming it as, say, item list. And on your vertical axis, you can rename it to sales. The next one is data table. In addition to the graph, it will also show you a data table. So you can select this to display this trend line. On clicking it, you can display a trend line for the products. For example, say I want a trend line for the sales. Select the in-store sales, click OK. Now you can see the trend line. The blue columns here refers to the in-store sales, and this blue dotted line is its trend across the various modes of sales. So this was all about chart elements. Next, let's look at chart styles. By default, Excel has given us a chart in this kind of chart style. To change it, you can click on this option, and it will allow you to change the style or the color of the chart. If you want to change the color, you can change it by selecting it as shown. If you want to change the style, just hover your cursor over whatever style you want, and then click it. Now, if you want to filter the data to show only a few categories or something, then you would need to use this filter option, which is called Chart Filter. So click on the filter, and let's say I only want in-store and online sales and don't want to include mail order sales. So I'll uncheck the mail order sales and then click Apply. Now you can see the mail order sales have disappeared from your chart. Similarly, if you want to select only a few of the categories, like I want to see the clothing, home and kitchen, select both of them and click Apply. And now you see only those two categories are listed. Okay. This is how you work on a basic chart in Excel. Now next up, let's say that you don't want this kind of a chart type. You want a different chart type which you think may suit your data better. So in order to change the type of chart being displayed, go to Change Chart Type here, and once you select the chart under the Design tab, you'll be shown an option to change the chart type. So click it, and this is a column chart. These are the types of column charts available. If I want to stack it, I should use Stacked Column. So online sales, in-store, and mail order are stacked in the same column. Here you can see something similar too, and these options are for the 3D column charts. If you think that will make your data look more visually appealing, then you can go for the 3D charts. And then you click OK. And now your data is in a 3D format. And this is all about the basic column charts. Now let's see how to create a bar chart. So I'm going to delete this. And again, I'm going to select the data which the bar graph will display. Here, I'm not going to press Alt F1 because Alt F1 by default is giving me a column chart. So go to Insert, and you have the bar chart option here. Click it, and here these two categories are for bar charts. So click on it, and now you've got your bar chart. Now when our data is arranged and visualized in the form of a bar chart, an advantage is that it clearly shows you which of the categories or items is exceeding in sales. So I clearly see that clothing in-store sales have more sales than other categories. Okay, and if you want to change the chart, type again. You have to click on this, and then change the bar to either stacked 3D or whatever you want. Click OK, and your chart is now changed. Again, the options are the same. We can change the chart style. So if, when it comes to the data, you only want to include the first few rows, then you have to choose the data range and reselect it. Say, for example, I would only want the first 3 options. Then you click OK. Now only the first 3 options are listed. Or you can also select or unselect the series in the axis labels. And say, for example, I would want only the online sales and mail order sales, so uncheck it. And say here I want only the gadget sales. So uncheck other options and then click OK. You can see only the online and mail order sales of gadgets are appearing as per your selection. Okay, and next we'll take a look at pie charts. Pie charts are very simple, visually appealing, and easy to understand. And that's why we go for pie charts so often. So to create a pie chart, select the data. Now I can have only one category and one data value for pie charts. So let me take the item list and in-store sales for this pie chart. So we select it and then go to Insert. This is the pie chart option. So click on it. And again, there are different types of pie: 2D, 3D, and donut. And I want to create a 3D pie, so click on it. And you can see how for your item list, a pie chart is created. Again, the same thing. You can have data labels. Go here and data label. You can also select the font color of the data labels. For that, you click on any of the data label. And all of your data labels are now selected. Then you can right-click on it and then click Font. And when you click Font, you can increase the font size of your data labels. You can also make it bold and click OK. And you can see that the data label is now in bold with the font size that is larger than before. Now say, for example, I want to make one of these pie sections stick outward from the rest of the sections or segments. To do that, what we first need to do is to click on the pie chart. The Format Data series opens here. And we click on the series options, and you have 2 items here: angle of the first slice and pie explosion. For now, I'm going to bring this green section, which stands for Home and Kitchen Products, towards the front or towards myself. So I'm going to have to change the angle of the slice, and now you can see that the angle is changing. And so I'm bringing the green pie section towards the front. Yep. And if I want to detach this segment, I have to use this pie explosion option. And that's it. There we go. Now you can see that the pie looks like it's exploded into pieces. And these are different types of pie chart visualizations, which allow you to depict your data in a more specific and visually appealing manner. Next, we have the combo chart or the scatter plot. Now, we've seen the so-called regular visualizations, like the column bar and pie, and there we used only one particular visualization. Now we're going to see how to use one or more visualization types in a single chart. So I have some data here with the quarters and the revenue and expense generated in these quarters. So I'm going to select the data here and then go to Insert. Or we can also straight away use the shortcut Alt F1 here for a basic chart. Now it has as its output a column chart here. And let's say what I want to do is to show the graph for revenue in a bar graph format and for expenses in a line graph format. To do that, I'll click the chart area, go to Change Chart Type, and there you'll have a number of charts listed. The last one is Combo. Go to Combo, and there you have options like Clustered Column with a Line, Clustered Column with a Line on the secondary axis, and another option like Stacked Area. For now, I'm going to select Revenue as the clustered columns and Expenses as the line graph. See, if you select the area, it becomes area. But what I want is a line here where the revenue is in a bar format and the expenses are in a line format. I can also add a secondary axis, which will show the visualization more clearly. Click on it. Now you can see one more axis is added to the right, which shows my expenses. And then click OK. So this is how you create a combo chart with one or more chart types. Now let's look at scatter charts or scatter plots. Let me show you how to plot a scatter chart. If you want to make a scatter chart, for example, say I want the revenue and also the expenses, and I want to see in a scatter chart that for each quarter, what has the revenue been when compared to the expenses? This can be achieved by using a scatter plot. For that, let me select only revenue and expense here. As of now, there's no need to select the quarters. So after selecting these two, insert this option here for the scatter chart. Click it. And then these are the different ways the lines and the points can be depicted. And this is a bubble chart, where the bubble size depends on the size of the data you select. Let's go for a scatter plot. Click the scatter and leave it. And now you can see all the 4 points of the 4 rows are reflecting here. With revenue in the horizontal x-axis and expenses in the vertical or y-axis. And that's why this chart is also called the XY plot or XY scatter plot. So now what I would want to do is, since we've selected these two and have represented the data here, I would want to know which quarter these 4 points belong to. To do that, we click on the points. Once you click on one point, all the series points are selected. So click on this plus option as usual. Just click on the data label. And as you can see, the expenses are listed here and not the quarters. So here what I'd want to do is I would want to change the values. And how do we do this? Let's find out. And what we're looking for isn't here. So right-click on it once more And now let's click on the Format Data Labels option, and this tab opens on the side of the screen. And you have to select the option value from cells because in my selected data range, only the revenue and expense are reflecting. But I want the points to have their quarters as a label, which is currently not selected. So click Values Form Cells. A data label range box opens asking you to select the range. Make sure you select the quarters, not the headers. Click OK. Now you can see in addition to the revenue data, the quarters are also reflecting. Let me uncheck the revenue or expense data, so unchecking it will leave only the values you have selected to remain. So now there you go. Lastly, you can now see the quarters and their revenue and expenses. Lastly, let's take a look at Sparklines charts. Sparklines are tiny charts placed in single cells, each representing a row of data in your selection. They provide a quick way to see trends. Now let's see how to create a Sparkline chart. Select the range. Automatically, this quick access box opens. Now go to Sparkline. Select Line here. And now we can see the overall trend very quickly. For instance, here for the first item, gadgets, the mail order sales are much greater than the online sale. Similarly, if you want to create a column Sparkline, then go and select the column Sparkline like this, which is going to show you columns indicating where the sales are more and where the sales are down, etc. So these are some of the ways you can visualize data in Excel, which is a powerful method of representing your data. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.